Okay, on to the next track in Craven's Crescendo series by Campbell Cravens, man. For those of you who have been watching, you will know the progression of this series in terms of starting with Linkin Park, going into Mike Shinoda's album, and where we left off and where we got back on again. For those of you who don't know, just go back to my reaction within the series, where I think it was called Nothing Makes Sense Anymore. I explained the context over there because we did do some reactions to Mike Shinoda's album prior, a little while ago, and now we're just basically carrying it on. So we're picking up where we left off and we carried on, right? So we are now in the next track, which is Make It Up As I Go featuring K.Flay. I haven't heard any of these. I haven't heard this album at all, so we're going through it, and I absolutely love this album. I think it's really, really good. It's an album where he deals with, Mike Shinoda deals with Chester Bennington's death, and if you actually listen to it from song 1 all the way through, you kind of see her psychological progression through all of it and how he deals with it, which I think is pretty amazing. But yeah, this is the next one up. Make It Up As I Go. This is part of a series that I'm offering everyone, which is a custom series where we design everything for you. It's a specific exclusive series for you. It's better value for money if you ask me. But more information on that I will leave in the link in the pinned comment, and you guys go take a look for yourself. Let's just get straight into this one and let's rock and roll. Let's go.
Keep on running backwards, I keep on losing faith. I thought I had the answers, I thought I knew the way. My brother said be patient, my mother held my hand. I don't know what I'm chasing, I don't know who I am.
Hey.
Woke up this morning holding my head, thinking last night is one I'll regret. Washing off the bad decisions, the blurry vision, the clues that I'm still a mess. Spitting out the taste I had.
Yo, I like this beat, man. I love this beat.
I don't know who I am.
Woke up this morning holding my head, thinking last night is one I'll regret. Washing off the bad decisions, the blurry vision, the clues that I'm still a mess. Spitting out the taste I have in my mouth, knowing what this all is really about, knowing there's an explanation, an expiration. I gotta figure shit.
But you know, like within yourself, you know when you go through those motions and when you make those bad decisions based on bad habits, and you do all of this under the pretext of YOLO, because sometimes we don't think as people. And he's like, oh, well, you only live once. That's how you justify it. And you do all these things and you wake up the next morning and you instantaneously know. You just know, like, geez, what am I doing? And then you start like looking at your entire life, right? All of it gets brought into focus. And you think to yourself, just, is this the life? Some people actually don't do that. Some people think that this level of hedonism is fine. But anybody that is aware of themselves will be able to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, dude, where are you going with all of this? Do you know what I mean? So you do know that little voice in your head is always going to tell you, it's always going to turn around. You know what I mean? I always use the metaphor of like of the review mirror, right? Where you do something wrong and then you turn that review mirror away, and somehow it just, even if you don't touch it, that review mirror turns straight back, and your conscience just starts telling you, it's like screaming at you. You know what I mean? Like the universe is talking. Let's go.
It out, and they're asking me if I can't see the darkness down below. And I know it's true, I say I do, and half the time I don't. Maybe I can't make what it may take to leave this thing behind, but I shut my eyes and cross each line, and every time
I keep on running back, I keep on losing faith. I thought I had the answers, I thought I knew the way. My brother said be patient, my mother
I like this hook though.
I don't know what I'm chasing, I don't know who I am.
waking in the dead of night, I can't sleep. Sleeping in the light of day for like weeks. Reality was out of focus, I could be hopeless. Instead I gritted my teeth.
Hey, come on, I like that line. Right? I could have let this take the better of me, but instead I gritted my teeth and I pushed through it, man. Come on, man.
Focus, I could be hopeless, instead I gritted my teeth.
I could be hopeless, but instead I gritted my teeth. Come on, man. That's the logicality coming out over there. Do you know what I mean? That's logical thinking. That's not emotional thinking, right? Emotions are there for certain purposes, right? But emotions will very often not get you into good situations, and they won't get you out of any fucking situations. Your emotions won't help you out of adversity. It's just not going to happen. Logical thinking is what gets you out of adversity, right? We're so engrossed in all of our feelings these days. It's like a world, and everything is, even if you look at political stances, every argument is thrown at you in an emotional manner because they want you to be emotional people. They just want you to sit there and consistently think emotionally about absolutely everything, and you will just stay miserable. And when you're miserable, you are docile, and you are completely useless. Right? That's why they throw these emotional elements out at people, because if they are throwing things that are logical, that you actually have to think about and be like, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, and that's just the way it is, right? The way you turn yourself into hedonism is through emotion. The way you get yourself out of hedonism is through logic. There is no other way around it. You're not going to get out of hedonism. You're not going to get out of putting yourself in a bad circumstance through emotion. Right? You're not going to cry yourself out of a bad situation. You're going to have to think logically and strategize a plan to get yourself out of that situation. So the fact that we're pushing that on people, saying you need to be more emotional, you need to be emotional people, and you must just consider feelings and all of that. It's how you feel. It's not how you think logically. What happens? You literally fall into a trap. You fall into a societal trap that you're forever caught in because you can't handle the world. You can't deal with the world, right? So what do you chase? Because you're consistently miserable, you're going to chase these cheap happinesses, right? Which lead you into hedonism, which leads you into all of these terrible ways to not comport yourself in life, right? And it's all these distractions. And when that sinks you deeper into the hole, right? You don't want to do anything. You know, you're not going to rise up against the government when you're feeling miserable and you're feeling down. It's like, oh, fuck, I can't do this today. You know, I'm sad today, so I can't do this today. So if everyone's operating on their emotions and everyone's sad sitting at home, the government can do whatever they fucking like. Do you know what I mean? You don't want people to be docile. You want people to be stoic. You want people to have that grit that he's talking about over here, and to never ever feel that sense of hopelessness. It's always hopeful. You can always get out of it. Anyway, let's carry on.
I didn't have the patience left to explain. Didn't want to wait while nobody came. I know the path ahead's uneven, but while I'm breathing, I have to make my own lane. And they're asking me if I can't see the darkness down below. And I know it's true, I say I do, and half the time I don't.
Hey.
Maybe I can't make what it may take to leave this thing behind, but I shut my eyes and cross each line.
Hey.
And every time
I keep on running back. I keep on losing faith. I thought I had the answers. I thought I knew the way.
Have you noticed that the lyrics are like, they're still like heavy and real, still very hard hitting, but the actual tempo of the tracks have now all picked up. It's a lot more hopeful, it's a lot less of a downer, and it's more of an upper. So he's still delivering the realism, and he's still delivering elements of pain, of adversity, and all that kind of thing, but he's delivering it in a way that is not so heavy to consume. You can metabolize this so much better because he's keeping the tempo up. He's trying to keep your emotions up. It's like, okay, stop feeling sorry for me, right? And let's start listening to my message, and something that you can bop to, that you can sort of like hold on to. I like that.
Mother set me pace. My mother held my hand. I don't know what I'm chasing. I don't know who I am. So I make it up as I go. Ooh,
Hey.
ooh, I make it up as I go. Ooh, so I make it up as I go. Ooh,
That's actually very important because I like that line. I make it up as I go. I think everybody in life makes it up as they go, right? It's trial and error, right? Fail better every time. But what I think is important over there to mention is that while making it up as you go, you need to set your parameters. So I feel that in your life, you need to set up a standard. You've got to have a moral standard that encompasses everything that you do. So whatever you do needs to fall within that moral standard. If you have no moral standards, there's no real meaning or purpose to your existence, because what do you live for and what do you live by? What is your beliefs? What are your standards? What are your virtues? So that structure needs to be put into place, because that structure is what's going to guide you in the most effective way to your star. Now, when you've decided, okay, these are my parameters, these are my moral values, these are my virtues, right? I'm going to stick by this. And as I make it up as I go, it's perfectly fine, but within these parameters, within these guidelines, right? I can't make it up as I go and then just be willy-nilly everywhere, like just float out to the abyss and try and figure it out. That's never going to happen. You don't build anything that way, right? There's a certain structure, there's a certain pipeline that you got to put yourself in for you to sit there and be like, okay, these are my parameters. This is my guardrails in life. If I stay within these guardrails, whatever I do, even though I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, right? I'll make it up as I go. As long as I don't step out of these guardrails, I know I'll be fine, right? I can fail, but I can fail within the parameters I've set for myself, and I think that's very important.
Keep on running backwards, I keep on losing faith. I thought I had the answers, I thought I knew the way.
My brother set the pace, my mother held my hand.
Hey.
I don't know what I'm chasing, don't know who I am, so I make it up as I go.
Right.
I make it up as I go. So I make it up as I go. I make it up as I go. As I go.
Fire. Love it. I actually loved that track. I love that he also brought the softness of a female vocalist onto it to actually do the hook as well, because it kind of feels like he's, this is the level where he's trying to soften up the album, right? And there's no better way to do that than to put a vocalist on a hook. Female vocalists on hooks are just epic. They give the song a completely different dimension, in my personal opinion, right? It really does change the whole feel and mood of the song, and I think introducing her at this stage does soften everything up, and it starts easing everybody into the next chapter and taking them out of that dark side, which I think is really, really great. Love this track. This track was absolutely epic. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.